Well, hello and welcome to See Hear Love, a TV and web show created with you in mind. A show where we are authentic and open and real about our relationships and our friendships, our marriages, even our fears and insecurities, and definitely, and most importantly, our walk and journey with God. And what better women to share all of this with than my beautiful Christmassy co-hosts, Cheryl, Abby, and Joanna.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, Merry Christmas, the start of December.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
No.
Yeah.
I can't.
The whole
I
year
can't.
just
I cannot.
flew by.
Because I start working on Christmas in September.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And for some of us, we're like, I cannot believe it's the first week of December already.
Yeah.
Like the year has just
It
flown
has
by.
flown by. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we've had this amazing year together as a team.
It's
Incredible
almost been
year.
a full year.
Almost. Started in March.
So much has happened with this show in a year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing. And it's our first See Hear Love Christmas, which
Yay.
is amazing, and we're celebrating it together.
Yeah.
And I love this time of year too. Not just with all the great sparkly decorations, but also a thoughtful time to think about Jesus and his birth, and that's what this show is going to be all about today. I'm excited for the month. We're going to have great guests and musical guests and speakers and media personalities, so it's going to be a great month. And
So fun.
yeah, we're going to just be celebrating Christmas well together. So really excited and glad you're with us. So, on that note, let's talk about our favorite family Christmas traditions. I'm always interested to get to know you even more.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a year to get to know each other, but what are some of our favorite family traditions for Christmas? Cheryl.
Okay, so three come to mind really short. My kids will not let a Christmas pass without the cheese, the Babel cheese. Is it the
Oh, the Baby Bell.
Baby Bell?
I love
Baby Bell. We open
Yeah.
those up on Christmas Eve. And we tell a story, a favorite moment of the year.
Oh, cool.
So it's little, but we
Wow.
open it and tell it, and then we pop it in our mouth, and then we go around the room. So that's,
That's a neat
it's Christmas
idea.
Eve, yeah. Christmas Day is when my husband shines because he's prepared for almost 6 weeks for the ultimate family devotion with multimedia slides, film.
Come on.
Sometimes
Amazing.
he's taped himself walking and talking. Hey
No.
kids, it's yeah. He goes all out.
That's awesome.
So we get super excited.
Yeah.
because
Share this with us.
great.
It's too much,
Yeah.
and
Oh my
like film clips, and oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
And then we always see a movie.
Yes.
At the end of our day, we
good with that
head like
tradition.
the whole family, extended.
So good.
We take over a theater, and it's great. Like
On Christmas Day.
Yeah, because some of the
Amazing.
most
Love that.
amazing films come out. You get the theater to yourself. You're putting your feet up. Yeah.
That's good. Those are good traditions.
What
Lots
one
of
did
family.
you see last year?
What did I see last year? Oh my gosh, what came out on
Star
Christmas?
Wars?
Oh yes.
Oh, Star Wars.
That's what I was waiting for.
Sorry. Yes. it was
Star Wars. It was
Wars.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Very, yeah.
It was.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that about the family. Lots of things. That's great, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Abby, what about your family tradition?
You know, we aren't like a crazy tradition family,
Okay.
but it's about family for us. Like, it's just about being together. And of course, my sisters are married, so it's also now about sharing, which isn't fun all the time.
Yeah.
But we're actually pretty close with my oldest sister's in-laws that live nearby. And so I will say this, though. My dad is so faithful. December 1st, every year, Advent calendar, the chocolate Advent. We
Oh,
all-
yes,
Like he
chocolate
sends them to
Advent.
you? Or?
Yeah, all of us, no matter where we
nice.
are in the world,
that's nice.
he will get one to us. And my nephews now, and my niece, actually, I have a new niece. So, like, we all get chocolate Advent calendars.
Oh,
So that's
I
great.
love
And
that.
of course,
Beautiful.
just Christmas morning and him doing gift by gift and calling out names. It's just family.
Oh,
It's just
love
so
that.
good to be with
Love
them.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Joanna.
Well, as you know, I am Dutch.
Yes.
Ooh.
And
Yes,
so,
you are.
For Dutch people, Christmas is actually a religious holiday, but Sinterklaas
Yes.
is the children's present celebratory holiday. That's early December. And so the good news is about also being Canadian is that you got both.
Both.
Oh, nice.
And so in early December, we celebrate Sinterklaas, which is Santa Claus, and he comes, and there's this terribly racist thing that's part of it, but we put that aside, and the point is that you get gifts if you're good, and you get coal if you're bad, and but the main thing is that you get a chocolate letter, Dutch chocolate, of your name, this thick,
Oh.
you have to work to break off a chunk of it because it's such pure chocolate, and you get so I would get a J chocolate every year, and my mom still does that to this day.
Amazing.
And then Christmas for me, even still, because I work in a church, so Christmas is work. I work
Right.
out. I work right up till 10 p.m. on Christmas Eve, sort of a thing. So I like that. That is my tradition.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's a
great.
privilege to kind of put it on for other people.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever get coal?
No. No, I never did. I'm sure that there were some years that my parents would have wanted to not give us the chocolatey
Funny.
treats. But yeah.
It's amazing. Well, I just can continue on with the family tradition, because ours was where Christmas Eve, we would go to a Christmas Eve service, and then we would come back and eat my mother's homemade pierogi, or pierogies, that she
Ooh.
worked on for like days.
Oh, wow.
Slathered
Oh,
with
my
the sour
goodness.
cream and the onions and the butter. And we would then have
I'm
competitions
hungry.
of who could eat the most, which was horrible. And then after we would finish that up, we would sit and we would open our presents. And I think that was wise of my parents, because then we didn't wake up early the next morning on Christmas Day to open
Yeah.
presents.
Yeah.
So we opened our gifts on Christmas Eve. And then we would actually do Advent, which is actually kind of the segue into this. So we would have something like this in our living room. And my dad would read the Christmas story every week, but on Christmas Eve would be sort of the culmination, where we would light the final purple candle and then the white candle, the Christ candle, as Jesus is born.
Yeah.
And so this actually, why this is so significant for me to bring this family tradition to See, Hear, Love, is because this is what I grew up with. So I loved bringing our family tradition of Advent here, because here's the Advent wreath, just like the one we had in our home.
Yeah.
And so I'll just explain the candles for people who don't understand it. The first candle for this week even is the Hope candle, which is purple. And then the next candle is Love. The third purple candle is Peace. And then the pink candle represents joy. And then the white candle represents Christ
I love
being
it.
born. And so over our time here around the kitchen table, we'll be lighting those candles each week for Advent week and
cool.
talking about each one. So I'm
I
really,
love
really,
that.
really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
I know, and I think it's great to sort of explain Advent, because I'll be honest, from an evangelical perspective, there's not a lot about the contemplative waiting and expectation and thoughtfulness. For some there is, but for my experience, it was always a lot of yes, joy, and racing towards things, and even in consumer age, that's what it was. But Advent actually slows you down and really pushes you to be very thoughtful, to participate in preparation.
Yeah. And the longing for
The
thing
longing,
that comes.
exactly. It's this longing, it's this hoping and waiting for the Messiah to return.
That's
Love
awesome.
that.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm really, really excited for this and for us to participate and invite our
love it.
viewers to
So good.
participate.
Yeah,
So
you can
good.
do
As
this at
well.
home, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly
Go-
it. You
Just go get some candles.
yeah, you can actually just do it yourself, get a wreath, put some candles in. And I think that, what it's good for too is if you think Christmas is all about consumerism and it's all about, the decorations, and we love that, it actually says, wait a second, it's a lot deeper, and there's some work to be done to actually prepare yourself.
Like I'm looking at this, and it feels like it almost restores like a holiness
Right.
to the season. This is so new for me, and I love just having you explain it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So today, because this is the first week of Advent, the focus for this week is hope. And I love that. I've always loved the word hope. I love what it does to me when I say the word. And I think that it's a really good start for the Christmas season. And the best way to do that is to really go to the scriptures and look at a verse that kicks us off and helping us to be expectant and hopeful of the coming Messiah. So Cheryl, why don't you read that for us?
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at John chapter 1 in our New Life app. And if you have that, please join along with us. If you don't, please go to our website and download it. It's a fantastic app for Bible reading and much more. So we're looking at John 1, verses 1 to 8, which says, "In the beginning, the Word already existed. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. He existed in the beginning with God. God created everything through him, and nothing was created except through him. The Word gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. God sent a man, John the Baptist, to tell about the light so that everyone might believe because of his testimony. John himself was not the light. He was simply a witness to tell about the light.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's lots about light and darkness in that.
Yeah,
I
there is.
love that. Initial thoughts about why would this passage be the one, John 1, 1 to 8, be the passage to start off Advent week on hope? It doesn't even say hope in it, does
Yeah.
it?
No.
But what
No,
is it about it that is hopeful?
I love how it says his life brought, the word gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. Like, life and light are just hope words. They are. And things were already created, but his word brought life to the creation. And so we don't have to sit in the darkness because we were made alive in him. And then, and then his life brings light to wherever we are sitting in, if it is sitting in darkness, but because of Christ, we have life and we have light. And that to me equals hope.
Yeah, that's good. Cheryl, what are your thoughts?
Hilarious. I got so excited because Joanna's really the one that illuminates the scriptures for us, and I was so excited to hear what she has to say because I know there's so much there. I feel like for me, the one thing that just stands out is verse 5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. And I started to think about the world that we live in today, and it kind of gets me a little, there's just so much effort from all sides to extinguish the light of God in our world, to snuff out the hope, the name, the almost wanting to erase the memory of. There's all these pushes of that in school systems and all around, and it's like that's the reminder that nothing, no effort from man or the darkness can extinguish that light, that hope of God. It forever burns bright in our hearts, and on the earth.
I love that.
Yeah.
What I love about this verse is, light and darkness, we get that idea that, light comes in and extinguishes the darkness. But in that time, it's this metaphor too of, when I look at when this was written in the time of Israel, and if you look at Israel in the Old Testament, in captivity, in exile, waiting and longing for a deliverer. And they always thought the deliverer was going to be somebody who was going to be like a king and actually physically deliver them from captivity and slavery. And so that's what they were hoping for. The prophets did that in Psalms. How long, O Lord, must we wait? Like there's this constant need for deliverance. And so when you're talking light and darkness, they could get that. It's like, absolutely. Bring salvation and a Savior, Messiah to save us out of this. And then Jesus comes in and God incarnate. And this is what honestly, this makes me weak in the knees and makes me so emotional. That God incarnate, God comes and says, I have something better. I actually have myself coming in flesh to actually deliver you, not from just the physical constraints of slavery and captivity, but I'm actually going to deliver you from the brokenness of the world, the sin of the world, and save you. That will radically change the world, that will transform you into a people, into a nation, and to an individual that you've never seen before. And I'm going to come in as Jesus to do that. And so every time I read this, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like on one level you're thinking of it light, darkness, which it is, but there's the other level of saying actually he spoke that to explain that it was more than just that.
And it's just that he spoke it. In the beginning was the word. And he didn't say in the beginning was the light. He didn't say in the beginning was the Savior. In the beginning, there could have been many other words that were chosen there. But in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. And then we hearken back to Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And how did he create the heavens and the earth? He spoke them into
Hit me hard,
being.
Joanna LaFleur. That's what I was trying to tell you people. Get ready.
He could have waved his hand
Yes.
to make the creation. He could have, I don't know, like in other creation stories of other myths from that time, the Babylonian myths, they were literally like carcasses of gods ripped apart and thrown onto the ground, and that created like violence and blood and guts and disgusting. But in the beginning, the Word spoke life.
Wow.
And then, again, in the beginning, the Word that Jesus just described as the Word must not be lost. Because what does words bring? We all know this. We all are victims and villains in this story. Light and darkness.
Right.
That hope or despair comes from the Word.
Wow, yeah, that's
And
true.
so Jesus shows up on the scene to explain the inexplicable, that God is love. And it had to be Word that did it.
Yeah.
Words bring life, words
beautiful.
bring light, or the opposite.
Yeah.
And so this hope is not abstract.
No.
Yeah.
This hope is in Word made flesh.
And
Come
I think the bigness of, I don't know
girl.
if people understand the bigness, as you know, Joanne, as you said that, the bigness of God desiring to enter the human story
Yeah.
so that he could be with us
Yeah.
and lead us. Like,
Yeah.
I,
And
you know,
not silently.
And no, silently. He comes in and immediately
Yeah.
changes all the preconceptions of what religion should be and relationships should be and how women should be treated and children and lepers and the marginalized.
Yeah.
And he shatters it. So
Every
if you want to talk about
system,
light and
every
darkness,
system. Yeah.
Jesus did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that when you get into that place of, you know, hear people waiting for that Messiah, but thinking on the base level of just, you know, physical constraints gone, it was actually bigger than that. And you go, oh, he's so smart. He knew it. He knew what we really needed.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the physical is what we immediately think is the need. You know, he's actually like, no, actually, this is a heart thing. This is a life transformation thing. This is a change on how we see people in the world thing.
Yeah.
And so radical, love your neighbor and love your enemy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They, you know, they enslave us, you know, they hurt us, they abuse us.
Yeah.
So that is hopeful.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that
Good
is
news.
hopeful. It is the good
great
news,
news.
It's
the
the
gospel.
best news.
Best news ever.
Right.
Best news ever.
You know, and so I just think
Yeah.
those are, you know, to be mindful of that as you come into Christmas. To say,
Absolutely.
oh, I forgot the bigness of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he chose to come in. Like, if I was up there, having a great life up there, and I had to look down here and go, wow, do I want to enter that? Do I want to enter their
Right.
story?
Yeah.
Right.
And how he entered, like
Oh.
knowing what would befall him, that torture, that abuse, and choosing to do so anyway.
Yeah.
And as a baby, like his greatness in, there's a new song, out by the new Hillsong album, and it says he could have saved us in a second, but instead he sent a child. And it just shows God's, his greatness to come in humility.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that alone gives us hope.
It's also the hope too, where, you know, I think again, and I want to go back to it, where sort of, you know, nation of Israel looking for this Savior, and I think of myself where I'm like, that's what I need to save me. That will make me happy. That will make me feel better if I only had this tangible money, fame, the new car, whatever. And we look at that because we think that's what's going to save us and help us and make us feel better. And yet Jesus says, no, 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 no.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Right.
It's me. Wait, it's
Yeah.
me. It's
Yeah.
me in relationship with me is the one who will save you.
And
Right?
how important is this discussion at December? You know, you're just mindful of all those people. It's for some, it's one of the darkest times of the year.
Yeah.
That, you know, suicides just, the numbers unfortunately fly up. And what a great reminder in this season of what seems hopeless and dark for so many, that the light has come. Hope is here.
Yeah.
Right.
And you don't have to succumb to the darkness of depression or
Right.
other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a great moment for that.
And he
that's it.
comes to us as we are.
Right.
Like, I'm thinking of this grand announcement of when God goes to the archangel and says, all right, here's the plan. It's happening now. No one knew, but you're going to know. It's happening now. I want you to send this whole army, not a choir, army of angels, to like those shepherd teenage kids who are probably like smoking and drinking and swearing
Yeah.
around the fire right
Running
now.
around the hills.
Right?
Yeah.
Like hanging out with their sheep.
Yeah.
And like this word comes to normal, everyday teenage guys. And
Amazing.
like, and then they like, their response is it's like they're just sprinting to go find a baby. Like
know.
it's crazy. But this hope breaking into darkness when we least expect it. And I feel that way for
Love
so many
that.
people that we it will come when we don't expect it. That is how
Right.
Jesus comes. Like hope, we're looking for hope in these things that we
I love
want.
it. Or it even comes in our most darkest.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
coming in
Right.
these moments that are dark,
Yeah.
unexpected, and
Nice.
quite average, and then
Right.
something breaks
Right.
through, and we're
Nice.
going to see Jesus in a different
Right.
way.
Yeah.
Amen.
And I love that because I think as people, especially at this time of year, have
Yeah.
questions are
Yeah.
lonely, depressed,
Yeah.
are feeling.
There's family stuff,
There's
right?
all
It's
kinds
tough.
of stuff. This month brings up a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
And I think that for those who are questioning or struggling, it would be a good time for the first time to really look at Jesus again, read the story. And as we shared, I think if you're saying, I feel hopeless, imagine in relationship with the one who can give us hope,
Right.
that can give us
And
that light.
I'd like to encourage our viewers that to look to Jesus, as you said, but you have to choose to hold on to that hope. You have to choose to grasp it.
Yeah.
He comes and he presents us with this hope, but it's up to us to actually take it, and it's worth taking
Absolutely.
to pull you out of whatever the darkness
Yeah,
is.
and then go tell somebody.
And then go tell somebody.
Because
You
it's
can't
the
contain it.
word.
Yeah.
It's, I
Right.
get nervous when people quote too often that preach the gospel always, and if necessary, use words, because I think people use it as an excuse for why they never tell anybody.
Right.
And it's dangerous. We have to use words. People can't just imagine the gospel story out of their mind. It's unimaginable.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to explain
Go
it.
tell it. Those are really great takeaways that, hope is a choice that Abby's, shared that, you need to choose hope, choose to hope in him, choose him, and I think, Joanna, it's great. It's spoken. The word must be shared. The gospel. There's power
Yeah.
in
So
the
good.
word.
Yeah.
So go and tell people about the story.
And that nothing can quench the light and hope of God.
Yeah.
No darkness.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I mean, how amazing is that verse as far as hope? At
Right,
first, when you look at it,
right.
you're like, it doesn't say something about hope, but it's so full.
It's
of hope.
hopeful.
In the posture of hope and expectation of the coming Messiah, we are lighting this candle.
It's beautiful. Choose hope.
Yeah, choose hope. And I think the best way to end this show is to say a prayer that we collectively will join Joanna as we pray. And we will, for your viewers, we'll send you out with the prayer and a few final thoughts from me. And we just ask that you go in peace and hope and expectation for the coming Messiah.
Yeah. These are Guerrillas of Grace by Ted Lauder. These are prayers in poetry form for the battle. This is our prayer today. O God of all seasons and senses, grant me your sense of timing to submit gracefully and rejoice quietly in the turn of the seasons. In the season of short days and long nights, of gray and white and cold, teach me the lessons of waiting, of the snow joining the mystery of the hunkered down seeds growing in their sleep, watched over by the gnarled limb, grandparent trees, resting for autumn's staggering energy, of the silent whirling earth circling to race back home to the sun. Oh God, grant me your sense of timing. In the season of short days and long nights, of gray and white and cold, teach me the lessons of endings, children growing, friends leaving, jobs concluding, stages finishing, grieving over, grudges over, blaming over, excuses over. Oh God, grant me your sense of timing. In this season of short days and long nights, of gray and white and cold, teach me the lessons of beginnings, that such waitings and endings may be a starting place, a planting of seeds which bring to birth what is ready to be born, something right and just and different, a new song, a deeper relationship, a fuller love in the fullness of your time. O God, grant me your sense of timing. Amen.
Love that.
Amen. And to you viewers who have joined us on this first week of Advent, we just want to say to you that we love you, that we're praying for you, that you would seek and find and wait and be expectant for the Messiah. And so we would ask that if you have questions, please connect with us on our website at seeherlove.com. We would love to pray for you and lead you to the one that is the one of hope and truth and life. Thank you for joining us this week, and we will see you again next week as we continue to celebrate this Advent season. Bye-bye.